Okay, 9 and down on your worksheet, you now have a complex number as your denominator. There's two terms, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? You can see all the two terms. You see a real number, imaginary, real number, imaginary, real number, imaginary. Okay, you want to clean it up, and the way you clean it up is there are no imaginaries in your denominator. All right, it's called a conjugate. So when you have a complex number as your denominator, what you multiply by is not exactly it. So look up. See how the imaginary is a negative? The conjugate is you change the sign to the second term, which is your imaginary part. And the reason why is not only are you going to use I squared equal to -1 as your advantage, but you don't know this yet, but when we do the difference of two terms, our two middle terms are always going to end up opposite, and so they end up not existing, and we end up with just real numbers, okay? So whatever the real number, whatever the imaginary part is, switch that sign. So you see a -3, +3, +3. Okay, now we got to multiply. We have to distribute. So I times 2 is 2i. I times 3i is 3i squared. And by the way, for those of you that are picking up on, hey, Miss Kenny, can I just write, so I'm going to alternatively write it here. If I see 2i, and then I see I times 3i squared, I see an I squared. So I'm just going to write a -3 because I already realized I can start switching the signs. Once you start picking up on that pattern, you're welcome to do that. If not, you're looking up top. Okay, so now let's do the bottom. FOIL. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3i is 6i. -3i times 2 is -6i. And notice they're always going to be opposites. Okay? And then look, -3i times 3 is -9i squared. Okay, but if you're kind of picking up on patterns, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 6i, minus 6i, and you're crossing that out, and then -3 times +3 is -9, but then I squared, that's going to be a +9. Once you guys start picking up on that, you're welcome to do that. Do this little shortcut. Okay, top. This gets replaced with a -1. So 2i is going to go in the back, because remember, a real number, the real number goes first, the imaginary goes second on a complex number. What's +3 times -1? -3, and it moves to the front. All right, take the back. These end up being opposites. +6i minus 6i is just 0i, so we don't even look at it. -9i squared is going to be replaced with a -1. So I have a 4, right? I'll bring the real number over. What's -9 times -1? +9. And so you end up with this very acceptable answer here. So this is okay if you want to leave it there, because once we start graphing quadratics, this is no longer good enough. But for now it is. Okay, if you would like to continue, right? Remember, we're going to end up with the same answer here. This was just shortcut writing. If you want to continue, separate the 13 denominator into two separate terms, the -3 and the +2. So what's -3 over 13 plus 2 over 13i? Get a calculator and put that in. So what's -3 over 13? I can't see. -0.2. And then what's 2 over 13? you guys what is my problem. 15, or if we want to stick with the 0.2, we can. And so there is your complex number. So both of these are acceptable. All right, I feel bad. I have to stop it, and then you guys know